Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really cutting through the noise, trying to get to the heart of, well, personal guidance. Forget the usual stuff, the algorithms, the self-help gurus. We're diving deep into the actual language, the universe. Or maybe it's our deeper self uses to talk to us.
Yeah, it's really an exploration of patterns, isn't it? Our mission here is to figure out how these things that seem random.
Right, like seeing the same number again and again.
Exactly that. Or maybe a really vivid dream image that keeps coming back. How these are actually, structured communications.
Structured. How so?
Well, the idea is they're designed not just to make you feel good, but to actively guide you, to lead you towards who you really are, towards spiritual growth.
Okay.
It's sort of bridging the psychological and the spiritual here, trying to pull out those really powerful nuggets of insight.
Okay, so let's unpack this journey. You're saying there are like two main ways this guidance works.
Broadly speaking, yeah. First, you've got the external stuff, the nudges, the signals the world seems to send.
Number.
Like the numbers, yeah. And second, there's this deep internal language, symbols, the unconscious, dreams, basically.
Right. Let's start with the outside stuff first, the external signals.
Okay, so that external nudge, I think the best way to understand it is through this concept of synchronicity. Yes, he defined it as meaningful coincidences, events that happen at the same time with no obvious cause and effect link, but they feel deeply significant psychologically or spiritually to the person experiencing them.
Okay, but hang on. How do we make sure this isn't just, confirmation bias? If I start looking for 777 everywhere, I'm probably going to find it eventually, right?
That's the absolute critical question. And it's tricky, but the insight here from the sources we looked at is that these signals often seem to pop up, specifically when your conscious mind has kind of hit a wall.
When you're stuck.
Exactly, when you've exhausted the rational solutions. So they aren't just nice little coincidences, they feel more like necessary interventions, like a confirmation you are on the right path, even if logic tells you otherwise. Psychologically, the idea is that synchronistic events are actually communication between your unconscious mind and their conscious mind.
Okay.
And they're often spurred on by a really strong, vital need inside you.
So the need for guidance, that's the trigger. That pulls the signal out of the universe, so to speak.
Precisely. Or perhaps it makes you receptive to noticing it. This strong psychic impulse, this need, is what allows for what the sources call a causal connection in time.
A causal. Okay, break that down. No cause.
Right, meaning there's no normal chain of cause and effect.
Right.
You didn't make the number appear, and the number didn't directly cause your thought, but they happen together, and they share this moment of meaning that spans, the inner world and the outer world.
Wow. Okay, that makes the whole angel numbers thing feel, well, much more significant. Seeing repeating patterns isn't just a fluke.
It's potentially the external sign of that internal urgency, that need we talked about.
Yeah.
The repetition itself kind of forces you to pay attention, doesn't it?
It does.
Like seeing 111 all the time, often that's interpreted as meaning a fresh beginning, a new start.
Like hitting reset.
Exactly. Some even link it to the energy of Aries in astrology, all about initiation, taking action.
And I've heard 777 is linked to spiritual alignment, that sort of thing.
Right. And the point isn't that these are some kind of fixed universal code you look up in a book.
Okay.
It's more that they're culturally interpreted signals. Their power lies in how they make you feel, the confidence they might give you, or the way they urge you towards self-awareness. It moves it beyond just superstition.
Into self-reflection.
That reflection is absolutely the key. The purpose isn't the number itself, it's the prompt. It gets you to stop, observe, reflect, and maybe engage with whatever inner feeling, that inner urge, might have brought that pattern into your awareness.
Okay, so if synchronicity is like the external signpost, then dreams are the internal map that we need to learn to read.
That's a great way to put it.
And maps, well, they use symbols. But what is a symbol, really, in this deeper sense? Not just like a road sign.
Right, exactly. A symbol isn't just a sign. A sign is pretty fixed. Stop sign means stop. But a symbol, it's a word, maybe, or a name, or an image.
Yeah.
Something familiar on the surface. But it carries these extra layers, specific connotations that point towards something bigger, something kind of vague, unknown, maybe hidden from our conscious mind.
Those layers of meaning, that's what makes them so rich, but also maybe easy to misinterpret if you take them too literally.
Definitely. You have to remember, meaning is so often contextual. There's this great analogy in one of the sources. Imagine someone visiting England, centuries ago, maybe from India.
Okay.
And they go into these old churches and see carvings of eagles, lions, oxen. They might just think, wow, the English worship animals.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But they'd be completely missing the point.
Yeah.
Right. Because those are symbols of the evangelists, which themselves come from Ezekiel's vision in the Bible. If you miss the symbolic meaning, you miss the whole spiritual message.
Right, you lose the depth. Which brings us to where these symbols often come from. Dreams. Now, if symbols hold all this hidden meaning, but dreams are often so. Illogical, chaotic, time gets weird. How do we even start trying to understand them without just forcing our own logical story onto them?
Well, that very incoherence, that lack of logic, is actually part of their value.
How so?
The core insight here is that meaning and purpose aren't only created or controlled by our conscious, rational mind. The psyche, the soul, you could say, creates its symbols totally naturally, spontaneously, like a plant producing its flower.
Naturally.
Yeah. Every dream, no matter how weird, is evidence of this organic growth process happening inside you. It's separate from your waking logic.
And sometimes that plant produces something we really try hard to ignore, which leads us to the shadow, right?
Ah, yes, the shadow. Absolutely vital for self-development, for becoming whole.
So what is it exactly? Just the bad stuff?
It's often thought of that way.
Yeah.
It's the hidden parts, the repressed stuff, the aspects of our personality, our conscious ego decided were unfavorable or unacceptable, and just cast off, shoved into the dark.
Okay.
But here's the really interesting twist. The shadow isn't just negative. It also holds potentially creative impulses, perfectly normal instincts, even good qualities that got neglected because we were trying too hard to build that perfect socially acceptable mask.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's not just the monster in the basement.
Not at all. And we see the shadow projected everywhere. Think about ancient myths, the hero battling the dragon or the monster. That's often a symbol of confronting the shadow.
Or, frankly, just look at social media fights today.
That is a perfect modern example. When you see people just vehemently attacking others, especially over traits they might secretly struggle with themselves, that's often shadow projection.
Right. Blaming others for what's inside.
Exactly. And the path towards wholeness, towards what Jung called individuation, requires the ego to stop blaming. Stop blaming the boss, the partner, the economy, the politicians, and instead turn inward. Face those hidden, rejected parts of yourself and integrate them.
So when you start paying attention to the synchronicities, the dreams, the symbols, you're not just doing a few isolated self-help tricks. You're actually engaging in something much bigger.
Right.
A whole lifelong process.
That's the idea, this grand pattern that potentially covers your entire dream life over years and years. That's the process of individuation.
Okay. And the goal of that?
The goal ultimately is realizing your inherent totality, your uniqueness, becoming everything you were sort of meant to be deep down, separate from what society or your parents or anyone else told you to be.
That idea of unique totality, there was a really powerful image for that in the sources from nature. The mountain pine seed. Can you walk us through that? It really clarified it for me.
Oh yeah, it's a fantastic metaphor. Think of a pine seed. It contains the blueprint, the latent potential for the entire future tree. That's its totality.
Got it.
But the specific tree it becomes, how it grows, maybe bending around a big rock here or stretching towards a particular patch of sunlight there or struggling through really poor soil. Its unique shape is formed by its environment and its struggle to fulfill that inner potential despite the obstacles.
Ah, I see. So the uniqueness comes from the struggle.
Exactly. The uniqueness of the actual living tree comes from the interplay between its inner potential and the specific challenges it faces.
So individuation. It's not the smooth, easy ride. It's more like a fight to become yourself. And you mentioned it often starts with pain.
It often does, yes. The call to individuation, the start of this deeper journey, frequently begins with some kind of wound, some suffering, some situation where the ego feels deeply blocked, hampered.
Like hitting rock bottom.
Sometimes, or just feeling profoundly stuck. And the key is, this isn't suffering just for suffering's sake. It's often the necessary collapse of your old way of seeing the world, your old philosophy of life that just isn't working anymore.
Right, the old structure has to break down.
And that feels like suffering, of course. But it's actually clearing the ground for new growth. It's often the prerequisite.
This sort of modern condition, this feeling of being split maybe, between the conscious striving mind and the deeper self or soul. You mentioned this is even symbolized visually in art.
Yes, quite often.
Yeah.
You see this psychological split, this dissociation, symbolized by the relationship or often the lack of a coherent relationship between two fundamental shapes. The circle,
Representing
representing the psyche, the soul, wholeness the spiritual,
Yeah.
and the square or rectangle,
Yeah.
representing earth, matter, the body,
Right.
everyday reality.
Okay. Circle and square.
When they're shown as separate or in a jarring, incoherent relationship, it often symbolizes this inner split.
Yeah.
A soul that's lost its roots in practical reality, or maybe a life that's all material but lacks soul.
So the ancient goal was kind of bringing the circle and the square together, finding harmony.
Harmonizing them, integrating them, yes. Finding balance.
Do we have any modern, maybe even measurable ways to work towards that kind of inner harmony, that psychophysiological balance?
Actually, we do, which is fascinating. We can look at techniques aimed specifically at achieving what's called psychophysiological coherence.
Okay.
Research, particularly around heart rate variability, HRV, shows that certain emotional self-regulation techniques, practices like mindful breathing or cultivating positive emotions intentionally, can actually increase the physical coherence, the synchronized rhythm between the heart and the brain.
Wow. So we've gone from ancient symbols and dreams to a measurable biometric HRV.
Very much.
And actively managing your emotional state, that creates a measurable physiological harmony, which then affects how you think and feel.
Exactly. This heart-brain coherence is directly linked to better emotional stability, improved cognitive function, better decision-making. It really represents a tangible, measurable tool for helping to harmonize that inner self.
Like a modern technique for integrating the circle and the square.
You could absolutely see it that way. It's a practical application of that ancient wisdom. Hashtag tag outro.
You know what really stands out for me after this whole deep dive? It's the profound nature of it all. The real guidance system, it seems, isn't just out there or just in here. It's the constant conversation, the bridge between those external patterns, like the repeating numbers, and the internal symbolic language of our dreams and feelings. And recognizing that dialogue, engaging with it, that feels like the real adventure, maybe even the defining ethical adventure of a person's life.
It's huge. And if you connect that insight to the sort of ultimate philosophical boundaries, it raises this really profound thought about what we can actually know.
How so?
Well, think about it. The discovery of the unconscious, the realization that so much operates beneath the surface, it kind of closes the door on the old illusion that we could ever know spiritual reality in itself, completely objectively.
Right, because anything we perceive has to come through our own filters, our own psyche.
Exactly. Everything is filtered through this complex system of the human mind, the human psyche. We can't step outside of it to see reality as it is.
That's a massive shift in thinking.
And interestingly, it perfectly parallels what happened in modern physics, doesn't it? With things like the uncertainty principle.
Ah, right. We can't measure certain things without changing them.
Exactly. It shut down the delusion that we could ever fully comprehend absolute physical reality with perfect objectivity, because the act of observing interferes with the experiment.
So both inwards and outwards, there are fundamental limits.
There seem to be, which suggests maybe the ultimate quest isn't about finding some final external absolute answer, whether spiritual or physical. Maybe the real point is engaging in that personal adventure you mentioned. The process of growth, integration, becoming whole. All within the beautiful, complex, and ultimately perhaps unmeasurable boundaries of our own human perception.